Welcome back to Dan's Messy Garage. This is going to be part 4 of me putting together a Ford 302 engine in my garage. Today I'm going to be sliding in the camshaft from a 91 Mustang GT. It's in great shape. Things to look for in a used cam is to check where the roller rides on the lifters. Make sure it's not grooved. Check the nose or the top round part of the lifter. Make sure they're all in good shape. This cam is in great shape. The gear is in great shape. It's not worn. These bearing surfaces are on great shape. Good cam. I have no issues with using that in this garage 302. And today we're going to be putting piston rings on pistons. I got sealed power rings. I don't know if you can see that. Made in USA. And they come packaged up. Third groove. That's part of the bottom ring set. Part of the bottom ring set. That's the middle ring. And I already split this open here. That's the top ring. Now rings have marks sometimes, designations, how to put them in. And on the instruction sheet, it says install all rings marked with either a top, that symbol or circle toward the top of the piston. Install unmarked, I can't read, you read that. Beveled rings with the bevel toward top of piston. Install rings with groove or lower OD corner of ring face with groove toward bottom. I'm trying to read this through my phone screen and it just can't. So anyways, tells you how to put the rings in. Looks like these top rings are unmarked. There's no bevels, there's no dot or anything on them. So that's good, I can put it in any way I want. Second rings, these have an up written on them, so that faces up. Third ring is a 3-piece deal. That's self-explanatory. If you ever did this, I'll try to show you. And let me grab a piston. I got them all in a bucket here. Piston rods. Now these are still in really good shape. They move free. Nothing wrong with them. So they're going back in the engine. Standard bore, standard build. And there's an important thing on rings. The end gap. The gap right there. When the ring's in the block, that's close. And as the ring heats up, it's going to expand, which means that that gap's going to get tighter. You don't want it so tight that it binds together. Because if it binds together, the ring's going to kind of twist in there and it's going to break this ring land. It'll break the piston, you're in trouble. So you want enough a gap to allow it to expand without hitting itself. And you don't want too much of a gap because then all the compressed gases will go right past it. The rule of thumb is like 4 to 4.5 thousandths per inch of bore. These are 4-inch bores, so it's going to be about 18 thousandths ring gap, 16 to 18. And so you put it in there, you measure the gap, and if you have to, you grind or file the edge of the piston here where a gap is. Get that so it closes square. But I don't think I'm going to have to gap these because it's, like I said, standard bore, standard rings right out of the package. Should fit in there fine. I will install them in the block and check the gap, make sure it's not less than 18. And I gotta get moving, gotta get working. Here we go. Now, when I put the rings on the pistons, I'm not gonna show you that. I showed you all that in a previous video, 200 cubic inch Ford 6-cylinder engine rebuild part 2. So if you want to see putting rings on the pistons, go to part 2 of the 200 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine rebuild. It's important when you do put pistons in the block, got to make sure that the crank still turns each time you put, oh, I almost dropped the piston. Each time you put one on, because if it doesn't turn, you got to take things apart, figure out why it doesn't. But I don't anticipate any problems. So I'm going to get the rings on the pistons and start sticking them in the block. Okay, I'm going to slide the cam in the engine. I got it stuck in there just to hold it in place while I get some of my assembly lube and slime it up. Mainly the bearings. Now these lobes, it's a roller lifter, so the roller's gonna roll over the lobes. So I really don't need to put a lot of lube on there. If it was a flat tappet cam, that'd be different. Yeah, you lube the heck out of those things so that the cam doesn't get wiped out when you start it. Make sure it gets flat on this gear. All right, good and gooey. Now just slide it in without banging it around, without chewing up the cam bearings. Going slow and easy. Just like that. Take out my homemade cam tool, just some bolts welded together. Hands are slimy, it's hard to grip things. So there's a cam retaining plate that goes on with 2 bolts. I will use red Loctite on those bolts because I don't want them ever to come out. And now I'm going to start putting in pistons. Again, it's going to be the same thing that I did on the 6-cylinder part 2, whenever that was. So it's time to get busy. I keep saying that, but it's true. I gotta get busy. All right, all 4 of them went in easy, no problem. It rotates fine, so everything's in correctly. Now all the pistons and rods have a number stamped on them, on the rod and on the cap. See if I can see, like that's number 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. But you want those numbers all facing out so you can read them. And now I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. It's going to be the same thing I just did, so I'm not going to bother recording it, but I'll bring you back when I torque all the rod bolts. All 8 pistons are in. Everything turns fine. Now it's time to torque the rod bolts. They're supposed to be torqued to 25 foot-pounds. I'm starting out at 10, then I'm going to go to 15, and then 25. First, we'll get them all to 10. And you're not going to be able to hear that click at such a low reading. That electric impact got them over 10, so none of them are moving at 10. Still gonna check them. Oh, didn't get to that one. Okay, none of them moved at 10, so I'm going to go to forgot what I said. Doesn't matter what I said, it's what I'm going to do. It's supposed to be at 25, I started at 10, so I'm going to go about halfway, or 12, 15, 10, so I'll go to 20. See, here's 20, 18, I'm going to 18, folks, 18, still good. It's a good idea to keep checking that it rotates when you do this, because if it stops rotating after you tighten something, you know you got a problem. Still in good shape. Again, none of these have moved. I'm only at 18 foot-pounds though, so. Alright, now we go to 25. Where's 25? 25. Alright. We're doing good, folks. We're doing good. A couple of those moved a little bit at 25, which is perfect. Means they were pretty close to it when I put them in with the 1/4 inch impact. That moved a little. That moved a little. That moved a little. That moved a little. We're good. We're real good. Just for fun, I'm going to go up about 5 pounds and see if any of them. But yep, see. That they're starting to, that made it budge, so I'll have to back that off. And then go back to 25. Because I don't want to over torque them. Okay. All right, we're good. So next step is going to be calling the end of part 4. I'm wore out. It's getting hot and humid in here again. This summer has been hard on me in the garage with humidity. So it's going to be end of part 4. You can watch part 5 when I put in the cam retaining plate, timing chain, oil pump, maybe timing chain cover. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. See you then. Thanks for watching.